Hello lovely beaders. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, let me show you the beautiful matching earrings for our Sweetpea pendant. First, let's take a look at the materials you will need. Here's the material list. Grab your beads and bead with me. As you might remember from my last video for the Sweetpea pendant, my mind was already busy planning these matching earrings. My original plan was to use smaller rose quartz beads, but unfortunately I couldn't find any in my stash in the right size. But then I found these beautiful 4mm cherry quartz beads instead. I decided this color was a lovely match for the pendant. Start by stringing 24 pieces of size 11 delica beads in color A. Always double count your beads. Go through the beads again to form a circle with them. The first part of the earring is made with tubular peyote stitch, just like how we made this part for the matching pendant. To complete the circle, go through the first bead again. This makes the starting circle perfectly round. Start a peyote row with delica beads in color A. A quick recap for this tubular peyote row. When you step out from the first bead, string another and go through the third bead, skipping the second. The new bead will sit on top of the second bead. Repeat this step around. With tubular peyote, you don't turn back like in flat peyote. You work in a continuous spiral. At the end of each row, you just need to step up to begin the next row. And to do the step up, you need to go through the last bead from your starting circle and the first bead strung in the new row. Make another peyote row with the delica beads in color A. Your beadwork will first form a small tube. This tube is the base we will use to build our final square shape. Don't forget to step up for the next row. This is the tube shape I was talking about. Make the last tubular row. String delica beads in color A again. A quick tip on counting the rows in peyote stitch. Your very first starting circle actually counts as rows 1 and 2 at the same time. This means the next row you add is already row 3. And when you step up to finish this row that we're beading now, we will have a total of 5 completed rows. The easiest way to count your rows is always diagonally. Let's count together. Now we can start to turn this circle into a square by creating 4 sides. String 2 color B delicas using peyote stitch. To make the first corner, string 2 delica beads in color A in the next gap. Start making the second side by stringing 2 delica beads in color B using peyote stitch. String 2 delica beads in color A to make the second corner. Repeat around. Don't forget to step up for the next row. Start the next row by stringing color B delica beads between the corners and 2 color A delica beads for the corners. This next few rows will feel very familiar if you have ever made a peyote triangle, or especially if you made the matching pendant from our last tutorial. Pay attention when you reach the last corner. Before you make the step up, you must string 1 more bead after you finish the corner. This extra bead closes the small gap between the corner and the step up. And because this step is not very obvious in this row, be very careful. Do not forget that final bead. Let's start the third row. The pattern is exactly the same as before. Use color B delica beads for the sides and 2 color A delica beads for the corners. If you also saw the tutorial for the matching pendant, you might remember me complaining about how long and monotonous this section was to bead. Well, I have some good news for both of us. For the earring, this part is much quicker to make. The rows are a lot shorter, and the side of the square will only be half as high as the one on the pendant. In fact, the next row will be the last row for this side. Don't forget to step up for the next row. Like I said, this will be the last row for this side. And for this last row, there is a small change in the pattern. We still bead the sides with color B delica beads. But for the corners, we will add only one color A delica bead. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Your support helps me keep creating free content. Every like, comment, and share makes a difference. Want to do more? You can check out my tutorials and jewelry. Links are in the description. Thank you so much for helping me keep this channel going. The first side of the earring is finished. Now we need to lead our thread across to the other side to start beading the second side. And to do this, simply follow the natural zigzag path of the peyote stitch. This way your thread will stay hidden inside the beads. The second side is made in exactly the same way as the first one. No matter where your thread is exiting from right now, but the most important thing is that the corners of this new side must align perfectly with the corners of the first side. So, string color B delica beads, but stop when you reach the gap that aligns with the corner from the first side. On the corner you will string color A delica beads. Each side has 2 color B delica beads. So after the corner you will bead 2 color B delicas with peyote stitch, and then you make the next corner. Repeat this all the way around. Don't forget to step up for the next row. Here's a time-saving tip. You don't need to weave in the tail at this point. Because you have added rows on both sides of your starting circle, the tail is already secured. So you can simply cut this tail now and your beading will not unravel. Start the second row on this side. String color B delica beads on the sides and color A delica beads on the corners. As you can see, we are building this side exactly like the first one. This is our second row. You need to bead one more row just like this one. And after that comes the final closing row, and we also need to string the cherry quartz beads into place. Don't forget to step up for the next row. This will be the third row and it is similar to the previous row. String color B delica beads on the sides and color A delica beads on the corners. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I wanted to explain my thinking for the beaded loop that I made for the earring hook. I designed this specific beaded loop for a reason. With this kind of loop, the earring can spin and move freely on the hook. This means it won't get stuck facing just one direction, and it allows for more natural movement when you wear it. Don't forget to step up for the next row. Make the sides of the square with your color B delica beads, just like you did before. To connect the corners, exit your first corner bead, go through the single corner bead from the opposite side, and then back into the second corner bead. Make your sides with color B delica beads as usual. And when you reach the corners, connect them like I just showed you. Because this earring is much smaller than the pendant and has fewer rows, you won't see that large gap forming between the sides. We simply don't have enough space to fit 2 cherry quartz beads on one side here. For the pendant, we use the bead to pull the sides together. Here we actually need to gently open up the space to fit the bead in. With the corners joined, this is what our earring looks like. All that's left is to place the round beads into their place, 1 bead on each side. To add the first cherry quartz bead, you need to lead your thread to the delica bead that sits in the center of a side. Do not add any new beads, just follow the natural path of the beading so your thread stays hidden. Continue this until you reach that specific bead. I reached the center delica bead on this side. Pick up one cherry quartz bead and go through the center delica bead on the opposite side. To secure it, go back through the cherry quartz bead. And finally, go through your starting delica bead one more time. This cherry quartz bead is now sitting nicely in the center of this side. You need to repeat this same step on all 4 sides. So, lead your thread to the center delica bead of the next side and repeat this process. Here's an important tip for getting the cherry quartz bead to sit perfectly between the 2 sides. As you add it, gently push the bead down into the space. Then pull your thread very tightly so the bead gets jammed in place. There is less space here than on the pendant, so if you don't keep the tension firm, the bead will try to pop out. So remember, always keep your thread tension tight. The quartz beads are now in place on all 4 sides. All that's left is to make the bead loop for the earring hook. Lead your thread to the single bead you added at the corner. This is the bead we used to connect the 2 sides together. You can always make a simpler beaded loop for this earring. But let me show you why I designed this specific version. As I mentioned before, the main reason I designed this hanger this way is for better movement. This special construction allows the earring to rotate freely, so it never gets stuck in just one position. This gives the earring a much more lively and natural swing when you wear it. String this bead unit in the following order: 2 color A delica beads, 1 quartz bead, 1 color B delica bead, and 5 color A delica beads. Turn and go back through the color B delica bead and the quartz bead. Pick up 2 color A delica beads and go back into your starting corner bead. Finally, go through all the beads in this loop one more time to reinforce it. All that's left to do is to finish off the thread. My usual method for peyote stitch is to weave the thread back and forth through the completed rows. To make it secure, you need to turn and change direction at least 3 times. To attach the finished earring to the earring hook, I am using a jump ring. I open the jump ring and hook it onto the beaded loop. I put the earring hook onto the jump ring as well. I close the jump ring, making sure the 2 ends meet perfectly and are tightly closed. And here they are, the finished pair of Sweetpea earrings. Let me show them to you next to the matching pendant from the last tutorial. They make such a beautiful set together, don't you think? I think these earrings are the perfect size. Not too big but not too small either. What colors would you choose to make this set in? I would be so excited to see your versions. And that's the end of today's video. If you watched it and liked it, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for spending time with me. See you next week.